Hello, my name is Louise Cooper and I'm an author and artist currently living in central Victoria, but I do love to travel around Australia a lot. And so does my friend, Banjo Bilby. So what we'd like to do today is to share my latest book with you, which is all about Banjo Bilby's travels through the postal system to small schools around Australia. Now, I'm not the only author of this book. It was run as a community arts project. So a Bilby puppet was sent to small schools around Australia in New South Wales and the Northern Territory. And they were asked to write in Banjo's adventure journal about what it was like to live in their part of Australia. They took Banjo Bilby on tours through their towns and used a digital camera to take photos. It's taken a few years for this project to come together, but it's finally here, which is pretty exciting. So this is our book, Banjo Bilby's Small Schools, Big Adventures, by Louise Cooper and the children of Wyangala Dam, Wee Jasper, Uranquinty, Talimba, Maluela, Nowandok, Dundurabin, Yetman, Imampa and Pigeonhole schools. Now, two of those schools have currently got their doors closed, so I think this is a really important sort of social history document, recording these small schools whilst they're still there and running. And I'd love to run on this project again with small schools throughout Australia and possibly the world. So if you want to be involved in another one, get in contact. My email address is rockabilby, ROCKABILBY 987@gmail.com. Here we go. Banjo Bilby's Small Schools, Big Adventures. And thank you to Akubra, hats off, for supporting Banjo Bilby and his adventures. Hello, my name is Banjo Bilby, and in 2016 I set off on an amazing adventure to small schools around Australia. I packed myself and my adventure journal into an envelope and hit the postal route. I couldn't wait to meet all of the children and hear what they had to say about living in their part of Australia. My first stop was Wyangala Dam, 35 kilometres from Cowra in New South Wales. 227 people live in Wyangala and most of them are old. 6 students go to Wyangala Dam Public School. Wyangala Dam is 2.5 times the size of Sydney Harbour, but only half full. Sniff, sniff. They have a school dog called Abby. Abby gave me a sniff. Luckily I wasn't too smelly just yet. So Wyangala, unfortunately, is one of the schools that is currently non-operational. Yum! I helped the children to cook and eat some delicious burgers and cheered them on at the swimming carnival. You could do it! My next stop was Wee Jasper. Wee Jasper is a tiny village of only 67 people, 54 kilometres from Yass along twisty, winding roads and 80 kilometres northwest of Canberra. Wee Jasper Public School has always been a one-teacher school, and when I visited, there were 9 students. I really liked eating dinner at the Kura Digby Homestead. It is a Pise building built using round earth and barbed wire in 1911. In 1939, it withstood bushfires. Each night I'd go home with a different child. We went on a tour to Carey's Cave, watered the cattle, rode ponies, and I even got to help change a truck tyre. Ever onward I went to Uranquinty. 32 students attend Uranquinty Public School, almost the same number as the maximum Australian class size. 800 people live in Uranquinty. Today they have a famous bakery, hotel, chemist, service station and power plant. During World War II, Uranquinty was home to RAAF, Flight Training School, number 5. There were lots of school pets at Uranquinty, guinea pigs, chooks and a pygmy bearded dragon. I really enjoyed their sensory garden. It was so relaxing with its calming water fountain and tunnel. In their veggie patch they were growing strawberries, pumpkins and lettuces. I arrived at Talimba on a rather special day. The 19 students were very excited to be going on an excursion to West Wyalong, 35 kilometres away. We watched a performance about rubbish and recycling, and then we had a picnic in the park. Talimba is known for first cross lambs, merino, sheep and wool. I helped out in the shearing shed. Check out the solar panels on their school office. These generate electricity for the school. Mulluala was the biggest school on my trip, with 64 students in a town of almost 2,000 people. Mulluala is a twin town with Yarrawonga. They are separated only by the mighty Murray River. That means some students come from New South Wales, whilst some cross the border from Victoria. We played lots of sports, basketball, football and tennis. I cheered children on at cross-country sports in Urana, and then they took me to explore Lake Mulluala. When I arrived in Nowandok, I felt like I was in the middle of nowhere. There are 157 people that live in Nowandok, and they all assured me that they love being out with the paddocks and the cows. There are 9 students and they all love to laugh a lot. They also love riding their bikes, playing in the bush, and sometimes they even bring things from the bush into the classroom. Nowandok Public School closed in December 2020. Nowandok, an hour from Walker, is a spectacular area for bushwalking, fishing and scenic drives. On the Dorrigo Plateau, up in the mountains, is Dundarabin. 185 people live in Dundarabin. 24 children attend the school. Most of the adults work in the sawmills and timber industry. Dorrigo is the closest town, 30 kilometres away. The larger towns of Coffs Harbour, Grafton and Armidale are 90 minutes away. I helped the children plant some native trees, callistemons, bakias and melaleucas. We also learnt about how seeds grow and pressed flowers. One day school was cancelled because of a blackout. I spent the day exploring the schoolyard. I really enjoyed tasting the banksia flowers in the bush tucker garden. Dundarabin is traditionally home to the Gumbaynggirr people. There are so many birds and lots of wildlife. Yetman would be my last stop in New South Wales. I was almost at the Queensland border. In fact, the closest towns, Texas 45 kilometres away and Goondiwindi 65 kilometres away, are both in Queensland. The children drew me a mud map so I wouldn't get lost. Yetman is a small village of 100 people. Most families go to Goondiwindi for shopping and activities. Goondiwindi is an hour's drive away, but there is a shortcut over the broken slab in the McIntyre River. People swim at the broken slab too. There are some really big rocks around Yetman, gum trees, pine trees and wild thorn bush too. There are lots of animals like the koala, emu and kangaroo, and red-bellied black snake. Sometimes snakes even come into the school. Every year Yetman has a camp draft. Across the border and into the desert to the small Indigenous community of Amampa, I was now in the Northern Territory. Amampa is a community of 100 people. It is quite isolated. Mudurjula is another Indigenous community of 300 people about 200 kilometres away near Uluru. Amampa has a roadhouse where the children enjoy drinking slushies. The icy coldness is refreshing in the hot desert heat. Some of the mob paint at the roadhouse. There is a rec hall too where the children like to hang out. There are lots of animals near Amampa, emus, goannas, honey ants and witchetty grubs. Sometimes the children hunt and eat them. When I arrived at Pigeonhole School, they quickly told me that they have a local name for their place, Nitch Peru. Nitch Peru is 450 kilometres southwest of Katherine. There are 15 houses in Nitch Peru, a shop, school and clinic. 25 students attend the school. To get there, you have to take a single lane road and then a dirt road. When it rains, the Victoria River rises and floods. The black soil road becomes too slippery to get in or out of Nitch Peru. In the 2016-2017 wet season whilst I was there, Nitch Peru was cut off for 3 months. Supplies had to be brought in by helicopter. Even the road trains got bogged. The children speak Bilinara language and English. Some children also speak Gurindji and Naraman. After the floods in January 2017, Miss Sue packed me back into my envelope. I was a very tired and grubby little Bilby, in need of a bath and good rest. I couldn't wait to tell the world about my small school's big adventures. I wonder where I'll go next. And then there's some activities in the back that perhaps some children would like to do. Map Banjo Bilby's journey. How far did he travel? Did Banjo take the most direct route? Suggest another route. The children from Pigeonhole School in Niche, Peru, Northern Territory, speak 3 languages. How many languages can you speak? Which languages are spoken in your community? What do you think it would be like to go to a school where you were taught in your 2nd or 3rd language? On separate pieces of paper, across the land we now know as Australia, there are many First Nations who are the traditional custodians of your area. Write your personal acknowledgement of country. The children from the Yetman Public School in New South Wales created a mud map of their town in relation to other nearby places for Banjo Bilby. Can you create a mud map of your town and its location? Can you create a map using scale, compass, directions and key? Create a postcard of your place in Australia. Send it to Banjo Bilby at rockabilby987@gmail.com. Tell Banjo Bilby all about your place in Australia. Would you like to invite Banjo Bilby to visit your town? What are some things that you like, dislike about living in your part of the world? How does where you live affect how you live? What makes your community and environment unique? What businesses are in your community? Do people in your community need to travel elsewhere to do things? Where do they go and why? So that's my latest book, Banjo Bilby, Small Schools, Big Adventures. I've got some copies of it for sale, and I'd love to help some other small schools get involved and create a 2nd edition. Banjo Bilby's ready for some more travels. So, love to hear from you. Thanks. Bye.